And there's just 2 days to go until the UK's general election campaign draws to a close and the fate of Britain's leading politicians passes to the voters. But what's happening in the UK at the moment? Well, Rishi Sunak believes he will still be Prime Minister by the end of the week. Opinion polls, though, suggest that Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's Conservative Party will be punished for failing to deliver on promises that have been made during the last 14 years in power. The Labour Party, meanwhile, which leans to the left, is far ahead in most opinion polls after focusing its campaign on a single word, change. But as the campaigns draw to a close, take a look at the key issues this poll season in the United Kingdom. The UK is set to go to elections this Thursday, with polls showing that the Labour Party is expected to end 14 consecutive years of Conservative rule. But on the other hand, Keir Starmer has a mountain of challenges to climb if he forms the new government. The UK has gone through a series of difficulties since last going to polls in 2019, following the repercussions of the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war. The nation now faces a cost of living crisis, struggling public services, and the highest NHS waiting times to date. The latest British Social Attitudes report published by the National Centre for Social Research reveals an overall dissatisfaction with the nation's recent political and social climate that has ultimately led to an overall decline in trust in the government. And perhaps the largest challenge to overcome for the winners of the UK election. Although spending on the National Health Service is significantly higher than it was before the pandemic, 52% are unsatisfied with the NHS, which is twice as much as the 25% in 2019. Immigration also continues to be a critical challenge for the new government, as net migration hit 768,000 last year, although the Conservatives promised to reduce immigration. Economic concerns and the rising cost of living further add to this hurdle, as high immigration levels have shifted public sentiment, with only 40% now viewing migrants as beneficial to the British economy.
Now is the moment for Britain to choose its future, to decide whether we want to build.
As the UK heads to elections, it is clear that the incoming leadership will have its task cut out to restore the public's trust and confidence in the government. With Samia Afsar, Parmeshwar Bava for NDTV. Well, the UK general election may be 2 days away, but for some Tory candidates, it's merely the staging pose for the competition they are really focused on, which is their party leadership contest. But joining us on the broadcast, campaign head for Conservative Friends of India, Sai Karthik Madhabhushi. Thanks so much for making time for us. Most polls currently show Conservatives trailing in the upcoming elections. How does the party view this? Rishi Sunak also stated that only Conservatives can form the strong opposition to Labour.
We have gone through some unprecedented times. We've faced a pandemic in COVID, and we've had a war in Ukraine, which we did not expect. And coming from that perspective, I would say that Rishi and the Conservative government have done a brilliant job of bringing down inflation from 11.1% to 2.3% this quarter. And I would say that, yes, times are tough and people are tired, but I would say that having a clear plan, a bold action, and sticking to the plan will ensure a secure future for Britain.
Right, picking up on the economy, the Conservative Party aims to reduce borrowing and debt. At the same time, the Sunak administration aims to spend over, if I'm not mistaken, £300 million on the Rwanda scheme. How is this likely to impact the economy at a time growth is stagnant?
Growth is not stagnant. We have to be pragmatic in what we compare ourselves against. Amongst the G7 countries, we have 0.6% of growth, which for a country like the UK is significant and very good. This has only been possible because of Rishi's amazing plan of bringing down inflation. So now we're able to cut taxes and from national insurance contributions from 12% to 8% and give a further saving of 900 pounds for the average worker in this country. And because of this, we've been able to stimulate growth and get the country back on track. Now, coming to your specific question about the Rwanda scheme, I don't know if you know, we spend nearly 3 billion in tackling illegal migration. And the UK government spends nearly £6 million a day on housing illegal immigrants. When you take this into context, 300 million does not seem much. But more than the money aspect of it, I think the Rwanda scheme is there as a deterrent to prevent illegal migration.
But many argue that the betting scandal is now worse for the Tories than Rishi's D-Day blunder. What would you say? How badly has this scandal impacted the Conservative Party this election?
It is extremely disappointing that certain individuals decided to act on their own and do that. I cannot comment much on this further because this matter has been referred to the police and there's an independent investigation ongoing within the Conservative Party. And I'm sure once the results of those findings come to light, the appropriate measures will be taken against those individuals. But I have to admit, it is disappointing that something like this has happened. Yeah.
Also, Sai Karthik, research indicates that half of the Conservative Party members are over 60. They're male and they're white. Does being a person of Indian origin help you in any way in connecting better with your constituents? Sizable chunks, we are well aware, are from the Indian community. Does this help your case?
So the Conservative Party has always been very diverse and very welcoming to the Indian community. We have over 4,000 members who are the Conservative Friends of India. I myself, I've been a member of the Conservative Friends of India for a long time. And all I would say is, having lived in Brent, which is one of the most diverse boroughs in the country, and a significant amount of the population here is from an Asian background, predominantly from India. And it is much more comfortable to have these conversations on the doorstep when you're campaigning, when you try and get your message across. So being a person of Indian origin always helps in campaigning in diverse areas like London and Leicester and other parts of the country.